What's up, guys? Welcome back to Adventures with Afterthought. This time we're headed to Toronto, Canada. It's somewhere around 2017, 2018. It's for the Mad Decent block party. I don't know if you remember Diplo's label, Mad Decent. Super dope label, came out with all kind of super dope jams and all kinds of different EDM genres, and they just crushed. And they did this thing called the Mad Decent block party in tons of different cities. I'm an up-and-coming DJ at this point. I'm working with a bigger artist who's on the Mad Decent block party. I'm going to Canada. I'm getting to perform and to DJ with these people. So at the time right before this, I happened to be on the Good AM tour with Mac Miller. So we were finishing up our tour. I think the last show of that tour was in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, somewhere on the east coast of Pennsylvania. So I had to pack all my stuff from tour, my CDJs and my little merch that I had and little random things that I had in my bags. And I had to pack them into this van and I had to drive to Toronto. So I get to the border and I pull out my passport and they're asking me what I'm going there for. It's a Mad Decent block party, blah, 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 blah. And they're looking at it, they're like, okay, cool, no problem. Pull up for us for a second. So I pull up to the side. They say, hey, can you get out for a second? Come inside and talk to us just for a moment. I'm just looking at them like, I don't have anything on me. I'm just coming through, so I don't know what this is about. So I get out of the car, I go inside, and they say, hey, let me see your documentation. They're like, oh, are you going to the show? Are you getting paid for this show? All these little questions that I didn't ever have to answer before. So I was just kind of like, oh no, I'm just kind of here, you know. I didn't really know what to say. So I said, no, I'm here as the DJ for another artist, blah, 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 whatever. So they look through it, they go, and then they're like, hey, we're gonna search your car.
Excuse me?
They're gonna search my car. They go, they search my car. Of course, there's nothing in it, so it's fine. They search it, go through it. They're like, okay, here, sorry about that, no problem. Here's your stuff. Be on your way. So I get in my car and I keep going. So I drive another about hour and a half from the Buffalo border. When you get to the Buffalo border, there's the Rainbow Bridge and the Peace Bridge. I went over one of those, past Niagara, all that. Got to Toronto about an hour and a half later. When I get there, I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to go, and the people that I'm meeting are late. So I'm going, and again, another situation where I'm just headed to the show and I'm not really sure exactly what's going on or how to approach it or who to even talk to.
I'm so damn confused.
This time, I have my own personal vehicle, so I'm driving there in my own car. When you're driving to Toronto, if you've ever been to Toronto, first of all, put it down in the comments and tell me your experience. Toronto's a super dope city. If you've never been there, make sure to try to get there. But when you're driving from Buffalo into Toronto, you're kind of coming around Lake Ontario, and you're kind of following it into the city. So you have this lake on the side of you, and you can see massive lake. You can't see the other side, but you can see it's big, right? And you're kind of just following around, and as you're coming into Toronto, you start seeing these buildings, these really modern buildings, glass buildings, condo buildings, all kind of different, really dope architecture. It's crazy. It's just a really modern, futuristic looking city, and you're coming through and you're just looking, and as you're coming into the city, you see the big pin needle thing that's up there. It's the big stratosphere thing, and underneath that is where the Blue Jays play at the Rogers Center, and there's all this stuff going on, and you're going through the middle of the city. And Toronto is a massive city. It is a big city. I think there's 5 or 6 million people there, comparable to the United States, and especially in Canada, it's a massive city. It's big, it's real spread out and big. This festival took place downtown somewhere in that vicinity. There's a big downtown area, and it kind of took part in one of those corners. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. These guys are late. They're on a private jet. That's how they're flying here. They're late. They had just done a Mad Decent block party in Vegas and then hopped on a jet and just flew to Toronto, and it was crazy travel plans. Anyway, I was the last priority. So I just get to the gate and I'm like, hey, I'm performing. Who are you? There's no way you're just performing. You and these other 15,000 people that tried to perform as well, right? So I'm standing there, I'm like, no, seriously, I'm here, I'm supposed to perform, whatever, blah, blah. He just keeps shooing me away. Go away, go away, go away, go away. Finally, I get in touch with somebody. They're like, oh, go to this gate, talk to this person. So I pull up, and in my car, I have to keep stopping my car and leaving it and running to go just in the middle of stuff. So, you're in a parking lot or a little road, and I'm just leaving my car, just running, just sitting there so I can talk to to Tina or Mike or whoever I'm supposed to talk to at the time. So I finally find the right gate and the person I'm supposed to talk to, and they kind of guide me in, and I drive my car in, and they just put me in the most random spot possible. They're like, I don't know, I didn't even know you had a car, whatever. Just park over here. So they just put me kind of in a weird little parking lot. It's just in a cut, and they're like, yeah, just park there or whatever, you're good. Park my car there, they close the little gate behind me, everything's cool, I get out. And at this time, again, it's 2015, I don't even have a MacBook at this point, I'm super poor, I'm just really trying to get everything off the ground, I'm doing everything I can to make a living, I have what I have, I use what I have, and I had an old like Windows Lavano laptop or whatever with my big stupid logo sticker on it and whatever, and that's all I got that in my backpack, and I grab them and I'm walking in, and I go and they give me a pass, and I'm walking into the green room, and when we get to the green room area, when we walk in, it's another situation where it's little trailers. They're like little trailers that are your green room, and you walk in and that's your own little area. That's a little couch, you know, they might have a little kitchenette that you can set up, maybe a bathroom, whatever, kind of just hang out, be comfortable. If it's hot, there's usually air conditioning. If it's cold, there's usually heat, whatever, you know what I mean, a little trailer. So I'm walking in, I find our little trailer area, I go in, I sit down. As soon as I sit down, this girl walks in. And she's really extravagantly dressed and has like some really dope style. Like she just had this really extravagant look, like she was going on stage or something. It's just, I just was like, oh, hey, what's up? I didn't recognize her, I didn't know who she was. But she came in, she sat down, and then another two guys came in, sat down, and they were just talking. And I'm just sitting there trying to get some stuff together on my computer to make sure I have this set. So then I overhear someone call her CL, and she was from South Korea. And she did really popular songs. She's just really popular overall, but I just didn't know who she was. And I was just sitting there minding my own business. That was the whole situation. It was cool. They walked in. I could tell that they were going to perform, but I didn't really know, right? So again, just sitting. I'm just doing my thing. And then all of a sudden, I look up and Diplo's standing there. I had never met Diplo before, but I was a fan of Diplo. I was a DJ. I knew him. I would just kind of just pick my head up.
Oh my God!
And was just like, kind of just staring at him like he's just standing there. And I just look up and he's just standing there. I'm kind of starstruck or just didn't know what to say. And I'm like, whoa, what's up, Diplo? You know, like, I don't know what to say to you right now. He's super nice guy, says, what's up? He's like, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. Sits down right next to me. He's like, what do you got going on? I was like, oh, I'm trying to set up the set. He's like, cool, perfect. Let's set up some crates in Serato so we have all the songs to include CL and have all this and it'll be perfect, right? And then I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. Diplo looks me dead in my face, looks at everybody in the room, looks at my computer and says, what are those? It was right around when that happened, the what are those saying from the video, right? And let's be real, it was just an old crappy computer and Diplo was just clowning me on how old and crappy my computer is. What are those? And I was just humiliated. I was just like, man, this sucks. I've never met Diplo before, I'm a fan of him, and he just called me out for my old crappy computer. Come on, give me a break, right? He was cool about it, whatever. We made the crates, we put the songs in, we made sure the order was right, everything was cool. As soon as we get done talking, one of the promoters comes walking into the trailer, and he's like, hey man, XXYYZZ, I think that was the artist, wasn't able to make it, and we have this dead space 30 minutes or whatever, and they just both looked at me and they're like, you wanna spin? And I just looked at him and I didn't really know what to say because this is Mad Decent's block party, right? It's kind of more of an EDM-based festival or show or whatever you want to call it. And I wasn't at that time really an EDM DJ. I knew how to spin, obviously, and I was a good DJ and I can get people hype, but I wasn't really an EDM set DJ per se at that time. It wasn't really my skill set. I didn't really know what to say. I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to embarrass myself. So I just kind of mustered up as much courage as I could and uttered out yes. I was like, sure, I'll try, right? So he's like, great, you're up in like 5 minutes.
What did you say?
So in 5 minutes? 5 minutes? Come on, man, there's 15,000 people out there. 5 minutes, now I have to sit here and try to figure out a set in 5 minutes? Now I'm terrified. I went from not so confident to terrified, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, okay, here's my more EDM side stuff. Let me look through that, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm just like, Drake, 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 Drake. So I just go, my go-to is just, I'm gonna play a bunch of Drake songs and Drake remixes and just do whatever I can. There was a guy on before me named Thugly, I believe. He was super dope, crushed it. I've also never experienced up to this point 2 separate sets of CDJs on 2 separate tables. So basically when I walk up onto the stage, there's a little side area. And when I go up the stairs, little side area off to the side of where the sound booth is. All the sound stuff, everything's there. There's a table sitting there, and there's a full set of 4 CDJs and a mixer in the middle. CDJ, CDJ, mixer, CDJ, CDJ. And it's a whole separate table on wheels, just like the one that's currently on stage in the big whole crazy setup, right? He's like, we're gonna do a quick run through, quick sound check or line check just on your stuff. Go ahead. And I'm standing there and I'm looking at the guy on stage, and this guy is telling me go ahead and do a line check. So I'm confused. I don't know exactly what he's telling me to do because I'm like, this guy's on stage. So I have no one to ask, and I didn't want to look stupid. So I just kind of stood there for a second until he was like, yeah, man, what are you doing? And he's pointing at the one that's next to me on this other table. Okay, cool. I guess he means this one. So I start plugging my stuff in, and he's like, all right, cool. Do you see signal and stuff? All right, cool. I didn't make an ass of myself already. Like, I'm okay. I got through that. We see signal. Everything's cool. I can hear in my headphones. We should be good. Guy's set comes off. They play house music for like 30 seconds. They wheel his thing off. They wheel mine up. Boom, it's right there. They were just like, you ready? Inside, I was like, no, hell no, I'm not ready. But outside, I was just like, I guess so, let's do this. And I look out, mass amounts of people. Here's a picture of it right here. But mass amounts of people, just tons of people. And it's in this downtown setting with the city in the background. And it was just so cool. It was awesome. I got to go and just spin as me, as Afterthought. I was there. I was the only person on stage. This is my time. Diplo's here. Let's see what happens, right? So they set me up. They're like, you ready to go? Inside, I'm like, hell no, I'm not ready to go. This is super scary. Outside, cool as a cucumber. I'm ready to go. I'm set up. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? My name's Afterthought. Tell them I'm from Pittsburgh. I know I'm not who you're supposed to see right now, but we're gonna try and have a good time anyway. Just go out there, let's have a good time. Everybody's feeling it. Drop the Drake. The crowd goes crazy right off the bat. Crazy, goes crazy. They know every single word to the point that I literally have to run the Drake record back from the start and play it again. Who do I see come running out when I run it back the second time? Because it's like a remix, a little bit of a trap remix. Who do I see come running out? Diplo. Diplo, super hyped, just ready to go. He just saw me knowing that I wasn't probably gonna do very well because I'm just this random dude DJing for somebody else. And I went out there and dropped this, and the crowd was just going crazy. He had to go out there. So he came out and he just literally stepped up to the decks with me, and I got to do a back-to-back with Diplo. That was my first ever back-to-back with anybody ever, and it was with Diplo. It's mind-blowing to even say out loud. My first ever back-to-back was with Diplo at the Mad Decent Block Party in Toronto. It was ridiculous. I don't even know what to do. It's like an out-of-body experience. Half of me is like, don't screw this up. And half of me is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Let's have as much fun as possible. So I'm looking out, I have the mic, he drops something, I go out on the stage and get the crowd going, and they're all jumping up and down and going crazy. And it's an EDM crowd. Man, it's a different type of vibe. Everybody's from all different aspects of life. They're from all different areas. If you've been to Toronto, Toronto is super culturally diverse. There's people of all nationalities there. There's people waving flags from Brazil, waving flags from Jamaica, waving flags from South America. It's wild, and you can feel the energy, right? I'm out there, Diplo comes out, everybody goes crazy. Amazing experience, got to go out there, fumbled through a couple tracks, nobody even cared. They gave me a little bit of production with the lighting and stuff. It was just so dope. It was so awesome. So that kind of slid right into the set with the other artists I was there with, and CL, and Diplo stayed out there because CL, and I had to introduce CL. It was super cool. I got to introduce her. She came out, went out, crushed it. Everything went great. Set was amazing, like I said. Lots of energy, lots of love. Got to go back to the green room, kick it with some more people. We stayed. I got to watch the Major Lazer set from stage. It was so dope. Those guys throw down so hard. It was just a super exciting experience for me, especially so early on in my career. They treated me like family, so it was super cool. And then afterwards, we went to an after party. So we go to this after party. It's the Mad Decent Block Party after party. We get there, it's packed. It's just like this venue club that's super packed. I go in, they're like, yo, you wanna spin? Man, this is more my style, more my speed. We're in a club, I can play some hip hop. I go, we have a great time, spin for like 45 minutes. Next thing we know, it gets a little bit later and we get a call and it's the people from OVO and the artist that I'm with gets invited to go down to the OVO studio and go see 40 and go see Party Next Door, and it was a super, super dope night. Everything was just super cool. It turned out to be an amazing journey, an amazing experience. And we got to do a bunch more of the Mad Decent Block parties after that, which were all amazing, all same type of vibe, all different types of crazy stories that I'll have for you, I'm sure, in further adventure. For the time being, I hope that you had a good time. Make sure you go down there, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next time on Adventures with Afterthought.
Hips and pose. It's just a nice feeling between you and your teammate. You might want to take a picture. This is a memory that'll last a lifetime. All right.
Yo, shouldn't we be getting back on defense?
Oh my God.
Defense, is that your cousin Damar?